Hello all. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Right now it's Sunday, just barely afternoon Pacific time frame, and just wanted to talk about what the week might bring. Obviously, market doesn't start trading for about another 3 hours, and then of course the volumes are hideous until they start picking up late tonight with London and then the day session. So I just wanted to take a look at where the market is at and what I'm thinking for this week and what I'm going to be looking for. And you guys can come along if you'd like. Okay, for those of you who stick with me for a few weeks or months, just watching my summaries and my trades week by week, you'll notice that I kind of trade a variation of Elliott Wave, but don't let that scare you off. It's an organic Elliott Wave, and as you stick with me, you'll learn more and more what I think about that and what I mean by that. So I just want to take a look at the big picture. You're looking at my MT5 account here with AMP Futures, and I know many of you may not want to go out to the monthly, but I always take a look at big picture. And I could get rid of my text, but you can kind of see what's going on here. So I just want to see what's happening, what might happen for this week. And so to start, I'm just taking a look at obviously what the market's been doing and the tear it's been on since 2009. And right now on the monthly, we have gone up to the top of a trend, the wave 3, 4, 5, and now it's correcting. Now, of course, the question is, what's it going to do in short term? What's this correction going to consist of? And as far as I can tell, this correction on the weekly, there was the wave, end of wave 3, wave 4, went up to a 5, and now it's coming down and more than likely doing some type of an ABC correction. Now, if the perma bears are finally right, then this won't be an ABC correction. This will be a start of a new trend down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll head from there. So time will tell, and we don't need to know that right now. What I'm thinking is going on the daily, this is not clear to me. I'll tell you why it's not clear, because this wave A, I mean, A waves can be ABCs, 3-wave moves like that. They tend to be more 5-wave moves, so that's a little strange for those of you who are Elliott Wave purists, and I don't really care. I just look at shape and impulse. You've got an impulsive, corrective impulsive move, probably an A, probably a B, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going down to the C wave. C waves can go just a little below A. C waves can be as long as the entire A wave, which would put it down here. C wave can be a lot longer. If this is actually a turn in the market, and this is a wave 1, wave 2, going down to 3, then it's going to just go and keep going, and time will tell us on that. So from the daily, I'll drop it down to about 1/4 time frame. This is where I start getting really interested, and this is one that I actually keep up in front of me all the time. So I've got the 6 hour here, the 1 hour there, and the 15-minute. As I like to see big picture and then see small picture. Those of you who take a look at my trades on C2, if you're going to be tracking my trades from time to time on Collective 2, you notice that Friday I took a bunch of dumb trades right in here in this conglomeration, in this range, in this correction, whatever you want to call it. So from the 6 hour chart, I think the most likely thing it's doing is coming down 1, 2, and it's working its way through wave 3, in which case this is really the end of a smaller correction. If you look at the 1 hour chart, it came down, went back up to 2, now it's working its way down lower to 3. How am I going to know it's going lower? I'll wait till I get a good impulsive move below this area or above this area. That'll tell me for sure. What I'd like to see this afternoon when the market opens up, I'd actually like to, here's the 15-minute chart, so you're looking at the same thing. Here, 1 hour chart. Now here's the 15, so it's spread out. What I'd like to see is the market to actually open up here somewhere. And I might even consider, although I don't like to do it, I might consider going short early if the market comes up here somewhere. Because my analysis right now is, even though this has been pushing this top, I think it's just, this is a wave 1 of 3, wave 2 of 3, now it's going down to wave 3 of 3, which is usually the largest wave and the most profitable. And so I'm thinking it's going to keep going. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't like trading with that light of volume, so I may wait till Monday morning at the open and see what it's done, and then look for a correction from there. As you guys follow along, you're going to find out that My entire goal in this market is to trade the ends of corrections. I don't like jumping in the middle of an impulsive move. I'd rather wait for a correction, trade the end of a correction, and then trade it until the market tells me the trend is over. And that can be on any time frame. So that's my pre-market, and we'll see what happens as the market opens up here and goes through the night, Sunday night, and see what's going on at the open on Monday. Hello all. We're about 2 hours past the start, 2 hours and 10 minutes past the start of the market, and my plan was to kind of wait and see for the market to give me a little indication of whether this was the end of a trend or whether we were continuing. If you remember, last time I had this numbered, I thought that we were doing a wave 1, 2, and into the middle of a wave 3. But the alternative look I was looking at last week when it ended was this. Let me show you a daily. This is what I'm thinking. Time will tell if I'm right. And we're going to do A, B, and C. And if that's the case on the weekly, then that might be the bottom of the correction, and that's as far as it's going, which doesn't make sense. It does make sense, A, B, C. And then we have a wave 1, wave 2. And that very well could be, although the reason, let me get this smaller a little bit here. The reason why I'm not impressed, completely convinced that this is the daily again, that this is a wave 2. It's unusual to see this much of a retrace, almost down to the bottom of the end of the correction. So this would be 1, this would be 2, and then heading up to 3. But let me tell you why the reasons why this very well could be a wave 2 and heading up to 3. Let me knock it back down to H8 here. Why is because your wave 2 is typically, traditionally, almost always a 3-wave trend. So this wave 2 would be an A, B, and C. So we have wave 1, wave 2 heading up, and then I've been looking at this since Friday when it was forming on the 6-hour chart, that this looks like it's just extending too long, and this looks like actually the end of the C wave. This would be a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and then it's turning. If that's the case, then the market's heading up from here. ABC was the main correction, 1, 2, and heading up. So I am going to go long right here, and we will see if my decision is right when I scooch this 6-hour back down and kind of get it out of the way and look at the 1 hour. We're getting small impulsive moves heading up, and it's just hanging too long for it to tell me that it's going to continue down. This much more looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and A, ABC to B. And then even though you don't see much going on in a wave 1, 2 up here, that's the part about Elliott Wave that you got to understand, that we're looking for shapes more than we are numbers. You can get obsessive about numbering things, labeling things, and you miss the point. The point is corrective waves, impulsive waves, and what the ends of trends looks like. And to me, this looks like the end of a trend here. So I am going to go long right here. I'll set my stop loss. Let's see how many points I have to set a stop loss to be safe. If I think it's going back, it may go back down to there, maybe, but I'm going to set a stop loss at probably about 11 points right down to the bottom of this. And if it does come back down here, then I'm premature, and it's still working out this correction. So we'll see what it does. But for now, we're going to go long here. And I am going to set my stop loss down below. Let's modify the stop loss down to about 26.28. So 26.28, say modify. That puts us down at how many points? 11 and a quarter points. So I've kind of committed myself here. This is trade number 1 for the week, and I don't typically like to do this on a Sunday, but this is just all looking like the end of a trend here, the trend being the C wave, ABC, and if that is what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, then the big correction came down. It went wave 1 and extended wave 2, and now it's trying to work its way back up. And I will talk with you guys whenever it ends. If I get stopped out, I'll do another quick video on it. And I may be going to bed. This may be going up, and may not record anymore until I get to where I think we should exit. So we'll see how this goes. Hello traders, this is Barry, and I just wanted to give a quick Monday morning update. It's 9:30 a.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time, and just wanted to kind of see where things were at here this morning. I had taken that long trade yesterday afternoon, early in the open, just because in reading this, the chart, my theory of the case is it came up to the top here. The S&P did. This is an 8-hour chart. I could actually go to the daily. Here's the daily. We'd come down to done an ABC correction, and even though it looked a little strange and it looked like this wave, if this is a wave 2 here, had come down pretty far, but it does that sometimes. So I'm looking at 1, 2, and then we took the trade right there yesterday afternoon. So let me get that 6 out, the longer term out of the way here. So it had turned on the 1-hour chart. Of course, I went long yesterday, right down here at about, where am I long at? 26.39 1/4. And let me get rid of these real quick. And so I'm thinking that it's going up and doing a probably interesting thing about Elliott Wave. Just to make a quick comment about Elliott Wave is when you actually get the end of a correction on a longer term chart, when you start looking at trying to figure out what waves are going on the shorter term charts, that's where you're going to get confused, because when the market's moving strongly off of a correction on a longer term 4, 6, 8-hour daily chart, it's going to really distort the short-term trades. And so what I mean by that is when you look at this 1-hour chart, an Elliott Wave technician would come in and say, what is this trying to show me? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that could be on the 1-hour chart. That would still make sense that this is actually the first full trend on the 1-hour chart, if we go that far. If that's the case, then we're looking for 1, and then on the 6-hour chart, it's finishing up wave 1. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. So if that's the case, then it's finishing up a wave 1, then to do an ABC, and then head up for a wave 1, wave 2, and then start into the wave 3 on a longer term chart. So 1, 2, 3. If we look at that on a 3-hour, 1, 2, 3. So still the theory of my case, I still think I might have identified that turn correctly. But what I've done is when I started last night, of course, I got in right here on Sunday afternoon early, and I had put my stop loss down here. I've actually moved my stop up here to plus 9.5 points in case something strange happens. It's just a catastrophic stop. Take a little profit, but I'm thinking that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this trend. It's going to correct and then continue on. If it doesn't, comes all the way back, I'll rethink the case. I'll get 9 points out of the trade, and we'll look for the next correction. So that's an update for Monday morning, and I'll keep you guys posted. It's just one trade this week so far, and if it goes like I would hope it goes, I'll probably just do this one trade all week, because on the 4 and 6-hour chart, this one's possibility of this one continuing up, taking out a new high and continuing. So I will get back to you when things change. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All you traders out there, just wanted to give a quick Tuesday morning update. It's Tuesday about 7:30, 7:45 my time, Pacific time, and I exited the trade that I started Sunday afternoon. Let's go back to the 6-hour. Here's the 1-hour, my 20-minute I'm looking at right now, and it's heading back up a little bit. I exited right here this morning, just a little while ago, just because I don't see enough clarity in this correction. I mean, it's telling me that it's telling me that the market should be heading back up, but yet there was enough unclear in here that I just took my 26.25 points that I got from Tuesday, closed it, and as soon as this 1 hour, and it looks like it might do it again, it might go ahead and do it, which is fine. As soon as this 1 hour clears itself and goes into another correction here in the next day or two, I'll look for another entry. So for now, I closed it, got 26.25 points, not too bad for a couple days, a little less than 2 days. And I'll give you an update as soon as this, if this heads back up or down and we find another entry, we'll get back in this week. And we'll talk to you soon.